Hello and welcome to the From the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
Me, Ollie.
And me, Dan.
In this episode, we're going to look back at Saturday's pumping of Barnsley and talk DJ, Nugent, Barkey and much more. You good, boys? Good weekend?
Yeah, as good as could be, really.
Yeah, very good weekend for various reasons.
Say no more. But yeah, I think the highlight of all of our weekends was the 5-1 pumping, as I mentioned, of Barnsley on Saturday.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Ollie, you can't just nod on a podcast.
Yeah, definitely the highlight of my weekend. No, it was.
We can see you, but no one else can.
Yeah, very good win. We said at half time, I said to you, Jake, just after they scored, I still think we'd win quite comfortably.
Yeah.
It was never in doubt, was it? But really.
No.
We absolutely dominated the first half, completely.
Yeah, it's very rare to win a game at this level by 4 goals.
Mm.
So, yeah.
I don't think anyone would have predicted that, to be honest.
Nah, I said to my mate who works with Barnsley, I think we'll win 2 or 3-0, but...
Yeah, that first half was weird, because I think it's probably up there with one of the best I've seen us play, and obviously we went into half-time at 1-1, which was... It just felt very undeserved.
Well, we mentioned last week the game... the Bristol City game feeling a little bit like last year, where we'd create chances, not really take them, and then let the opponent back in, and it felt a little bit like that.
Mm.
But I think the amount of chances we were creating that Barnsley were letting us create, it was just... I mean, looking back, you got a bit nervous at half-time, I think, but there was no real reason to get worried.
No, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I think looking back, there was almost certainly no reason to panic.
Yeah, against Bristol City when it was, what did it go to 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2. Then they went 3-2, didn't they?
Yeah, I still thought that could have gone either way, but at 1-1 yesterday, I had absolutely no doubt that we'd still go on to win the game. Because I think we had 18 shots in the box yesterday, which is a league record high for the season.
20 shots in total with 10 on target.
Yeah, 18 from in the box, which you just don't get very often, do you? So.
No,
literally every time we went forward, we got around their box, really.
And I reckon every other time we went forward and got into their box, we looked like we could have scored.
Yeah. So Alex Neil said we could have had 10 goals.
It wouldn't have been. I don't think it would have flattered us if we had. I think if it had finished up like Spurs biting, I don't think Barnsley could have had any complaints.
Well, Maguire could have easily scored them 2 in the first half.
Yeah, he should have done.
And then Nugent obviously had the.
Nugent had one blinder and one that touched.
One half chance. We'll come on to that in a bit anyway. But the half chance in the first half, But the one in the second half, I was like I said, we'll come on to it in a bit. For me, at times in the first half, it felt a little bit like a pre-season game, like against a proper lower league opposition.
I was saying.
Fans might like to hear that.
Oh, I don't give a shit about the band.
It felt like the first time I can remember in a while that there was a genuine golfing class. Like you could have said they were a League One team and we were like a top half Championship team, and no one would have disagreed with you yesterday.
No.
And I think again, I'm noticing more and more now, like how experienced we look as a team. Like we just look like a very experienced Championship team, and you could tell. Very few of their players have played at this level before. We just bullied them in every department.
The thing is, no disrespect to Barnsley, but you said it looked like a League One team playing against a Championship team, and to be honest, I think that's almost what it was, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think before yesterday they'd lost 4, drew 1 away, and I don't think they scored away before yesterday.
No, they hadn't. They hadn't scored a single away goal for yesterday.
They're just very naive as a team.
Yeah.
Like, we'll come on to the tactics in a bit, but which is fair enough in a way. Like, that got them promoted last season, but you just can't do it against.
Even so, though, at times last season, it looked like they might even blow that. I know toward the end, it got more and more comfortable as Sunderland just did a Stoke and carried on picking up 1-1 draws.
Yeah.
But even that, I think, obviously, I didn't watch Barnsley last season, but I think you could maybe say that the lack of experience that they had, even then.
Well, there's a definite argument that they're weaker now anyway, because he lost Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, we got Potts in the January.
Yeah, they lost Potts, they lost both centre backs, and they lost the goalkeeper.
So the whole keeper went to Stoke, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a second choice at Stoke now.
I'm surprised.
But they've lost 4 or 5 of the best players.
You are,
They've lost 4 or 5 of the best players from last season.
Yeah.
And they've not really added a single player, I don't think, who's made impact at this level. I thought Chaplin was their best player, who's always been a decent little player. But apart from that, they just struggled all over the pitch.
I think the key thing for me that stood out about their naivety yesterday was the 2 goals we scored in the second half. Just both times, it was just they were trying to do the same thing, and we caught them pretty much the same way both times. Scored a goal, and I mean, fair enough. If you've got a philosophy and you're going to stick to it, fine. But sometimes in a game when you're getting outplayed like they were yesterday, you need to make changes. You need to sometimes take it upon yourself, I think, to make changes in game, and that showed in their sort of naivety, I think. Not that I'm complaining, of course.
Yeah, it's weird because I think they're quite solid at home, but away from home, they're just. There was a team last season like that as well. I can't remember. It might have been Brentford. I think they only won like twice away all season.
But the home record was
very good, and they play like a similar way. But the way they set up is absolutely perfect for the way we play, like in terms of being able to just overrun them, basically.
Yeah.
And we get them games probably 5 or 6 times a season, where it's just a perfect matchup. And
Norwich last year.
Yeah, Norwich game, Brentford last season when it was 3-0 and then they got it back and then
4-3, didn't it?
And then yesterday's game. So we get them odd games where, and then every time we play Bolton as well, and Blackburn actually, but every time we play them type of teams, like you just know what we're going to do now before because we've done it so often.
Yeah.
But the main difference yesterday was obviously just DJ instead of Brown, which is a massive difference, even though it's only one player.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to DJ in a bit, but he was the first 10 out of 10 in the player ratings pieces for us, and I think fully deserving.
Yeah.
Fully deserving.
Couldn't really find a fault.
I think he's been my man of the match in pretty much all the home games.
Yeah, I think there was the one home game that.
I think he's got the stadium man of the match in like 3 out of the 6 so far, hasn't he?
Yeah. To be honest, I think the only game I really remember him having a poor one in is Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it was a strange game, that.
So, do you want to do your tactical analysis?
Yeah, well, to be honest, there weren't many tactics involved from their point of view.
Not really.
We both set up 4-2-3-1 anyway, didn't we? Matched us up all over the pitch, but when you've got the same system, but we've got much better players, we just controlled the game.
Yeah.
They pressed high. Every time we took more than 2 touches. I don't know if this was a plan from Neil or not, but if we took 1 touch, they wouldn't press. But if we took 2 or 3 touches to come and press, we'd send it back and then we go forward. Alex Neil was talking about the up-back through method, which is the prime example was DJ's goal. So you play it forward, you play a little pass forward, they press. You play it back to the passer, who was Galley, and then you play it through to the man who's running through. Because they were playing a high line, and it was probably the worst line I've seen all season.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
They
There,
were
there were several times where I saw like two of their defenders in front of another two, like it was a back four, but it was in a square. It was bizarre.
Yeah, so that's what we basically did. It's called the up back through method, and literally just running past a static line. Gally played it through. DJ finished it well, but I think we played over 100 long balls yesterday.
Really?
Which is like more than one a minute. Yeah.
Fuck me.
So, but there's more than one type of long ball, isn't there? But
yeah, of course there is.
Even though we controlled the ball, we only had 52%. I think it was possession.
Yeah. Which I was quite surprised when I saw that last night because
it felt like we controlled the game so much.
Yeah, thought
we were just trying to. We didn't even try and attack down the channels really, because as Dan said, their line was absolutely disgusting. So
just all over the place, wasn't it?
As soon as we got the ball, we were basically. They had their midfield 4 on the front 2, and they press as a 6, basically. And then as soon as we beat that press, we were up against their defence. Oh, yeah. So we either went direct and got in behind, or we won pretty much every second ball and just absolutely battered them. So yeah, that was all it was tactically.
Yeah, no, it was an enjoyable watch. Definitely was.
And then we probably had at least 50, I'd say, final third entries. I've not seen those stats, but the amount of times we got into their final third was scary.
Yeah.
But it worked absolutely perfectly. And that's why games like that are perfect for Barkey. DJ can run box to box. And even though Maguire could have scored twice, he still played well like in general play. So
yeah, I think overall his game was a good one.
Yeah.
I just think it is.
I've never seen a team who plays the same system as us, but looks so
bad.
Looks like our system's dominating theirs, even though it was the same system.
Well, I mean, I don't know how Barnsley play normally, but did you say they set up just to counter us? Is that it? Do they normally set up 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, every week they set up 4-2-3-1.
Oh, right, okay. So I was going to say, because it generally looks like they've not played that system before.
No,
yesterday's showing.
Yeah, because they just press so aggressively, but they don't because the back line as well. None of them have played in this league before. The most experienced player is probably Alex Mowat, who's got a good on him. He's not really a very commanding player, so yeah, I think they'll struggle. Well, they will struggle, won't they?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I thought they'd do all right earlier on. In the summer, I thought they'd do all right, but yeah, looking at their early form.
Yeah, someone said in summer that they thought Barnsley would finish above us, which looks quite funny now because they signed a few players in summer. But yeah, so going forward, I thought we were yesterday in particular like very fluid. With obviously Barkey started on the right, Maguire on the left, but there was various times where you'd see like overloads on either side with DJ as well.
Yeah.
And then Nugent, who I thought played quite well, linking it all together. But the movement, it was pretty much a front 4 of ours against their back 4, and the movement just killed him. And obviously Nugent should have scored, but then when the tree came on, it gave them a little bit of respite.
No, I think Nugent did really well. I mean, there's obviously the people that think he should have scored, particularly that chance early second half. But yeah, well, I mean, he should have done, but I think he would have done if he was sharp. But that's not really my point. My point was that, like Ollie was talking about the back through method or whatever the fuck he was talking about.
Through.
Yeah, that one. And like Nugent came in, sucked the 2 defenders out.
Where you were going with that for a minute, Dan?
Really, sort of brought them out of their position because they pressed him right up to the halfway line. He gave it back to Gally, and Gally played DJ over.
Yeah.
And he obviously Nugent played an important role in the first goal as well as that third one. But I think when Stockley came on, like you both said, I mean, we can call him the tree. I'll call him the tree from now on.
He's done it. But, he's done it. He's converted.
But I think, I mean, I don't dislike Stockley, and I've never said I do, but the persistent problem with him is that he's not one thing or another, especially at this level, because he's not mobile, so he's not really effective in Plan A, if we're going to call it that, like the way we were playing yesterday with a fluid front three or front four.
Front four, Dan.
Front four, yeah. But he's not a natural target man, and he loses possibly even more aerial challenges than he wins, and gives the ball away quite a lot.
He'd been on the pitch maybe 5 minutes or so yesterday, and there was a ball played through to him, and he took it out towards the Invincibles. 2 Barnsley players closed in on, passed it between to no one.
Oh God!
Whenever I'm talking about striker, it always comes back to the same thing. So it's either physicality in terms of speed and mobility, or actual strength. And Stockley's just he's not even that big. He's just like people think he should be a target man because he's slow, but he's not even powerful. So
yeah, that's sort of the same thing I was saying. He's not an effective Plan B striker either, because like Ollie says, he's just not powerful enough. So
I wouldn't even say he's Plan C, to be honest.
Well, I think he's probably.
The thing is, like, we can slag him off a lot, but he's an effective finisher. So I mean, he's worth slinging on if we're really struggling. But while we aren't struggling, like we aren't at the moment, I just can't see him being effective for us.
No.
It's like Louis Malt. Louis Malt's quite a good finisher, but he doesn't offer really much outside the box. And when we're playing the way we're playing now, with so much movement.
He just gets a bit lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought there'd be games where he would be more suited, but it looks like we're going to set up the same way for most weeks.
Yeah. Well, he's not even been in the last 2 squads, has he? Apart from Barnsley.
No, that was the first time.
It's a very positive sign for me that we're looking to approach most games in the same way, because that means we're wanting to control games and we're wanting to attack.
The thing is, the way we played yesterday is suitable whether we're sitting back and trying to counter teams or whether we're trying to take control of the game as well.
Yeah.
Works both ways.
You've got players like Galley can do both.
Yeah.
So if Galley's playing, you can control the ball or you can get in behind. So, and same with players like Maguire, DJ. The only one who's more suited to playing like we did yesterday is Barkey. But that's what I was saying. Like in summer, like with the attackers and midfielders we've got, we can control games and we can take teams on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was my laptop. Yeah, I feel like over the next few months, I'm going to end up posting links out to your piece quite often, and just reminding people that even though we do bitch about some things, we can be quite positive as well.
What was that?
Your piece about how this season is the chance of a lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Still early days, but
yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I was having a chat with Dad last night.
Now.
You are?
I think we're about a quarter of the way through, aren't we?
Yeah, ish.
11 out of 46.
Yeah.
I was having a chat with my dad last night, and he was saying, like, what would your expectations be, like minimum expectations for this season? Like, would it be playoffs or what? And I was like, well, ask me after Rovers, because we've got, after the international break, we've got 3 tough games, I think, even though Reading are down there. Like, we went there last season and I wouldn't say they dismantled us, but we weren't particularly good. And then Leeds and Rovers,
they took advantage of us at our weakest, I would say, Reading.
Ben Pearson played about 40 minutes on one leg at Reading as well.
Yeah.
I remember. That Stockley actually scored that day. But yeah.
Yeah.
Scored right at the end.
Shawnee Maguire hit the bar, it just rebounded out to him.
So he stole the goal.
The last 3 times we played Reading I've been, and I'm going in 2 weeks, so we're probably going to lose again.
Oh, great.
Because we've lost every time we've seen us there.
Maybe stay away, mate.
But we're playing Reading, I think we've got Leeds, Blackburn, haven't we?
Yeah, in a week. Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, isn't it?
I think I'll start getting more excited around Christmas.
Yeah, I think if we can consolidate a sort of, like I said last week, a sort of top 8, top 10 sort of spot.
Like, I wouldn't attach a particular time to it, but I think I'll start to firmly think there's a place that we should finish when the pack starts to break up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, when things start to separate off a little
bit. The top 10 could stay quite tight until April, theoretically.
Yeah.
Or 2 groups could break away from each other at Christmas.
And the thing is, at Christmas as well, there's always a team that puts a run together. Villa last year, I think Huddersfield the season they went up. Fulham the season before. That after Christmas, there's always a team that puts a run together and either comes close to sneaking into the playoffs or sneaks into the playoffs. And the last 2 seasons has been. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think if we're not in the playoffs by then, it'll be us, and if we are, it'll be QPR.
Yeah,
QPR are going downhill from here.
You are?
QPR are going downhill.
Scored another 4 at the weekend.
Yeah.
I lambasted you, Dan, when you put them where you did in your prediction piece, but
I know. Lots of people lambast me for a lot of things I say, Jake, but I end up being right a lot of the time.
To be fair, I don't think you've been right a lot of the time while I've known you. But I could be eating humble pie.
No, I do peddle quite a lot of nonsense, but I don't think the QPR one was one of the times.
Well, we'll wait and see. But yeah, I think we can call that part 1, boys.
Yeah. In fairness, I did base the QPR prediction on literally nothing more than Hugill joining because I wanted to make a point. But
hey, look, if that's how you do it, then do the lottery, mate. But yeah, I think we'll call that part 1. We'll go and get a brew, and I'll see you both in part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of the From the Finney podcast. In this part of the pod, we're going to talk DJ's 10 out of 10 performance in our book, David Nugent making his first start in 12 years, and what realistically he can offer us this season. And we'll also talk a little bit about Tom Barkhuizen as well. So I've put a really shit song reference in the notes that neither of you got.
It's Limp Bizkit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We'll keep the actual song reference out of the pod. If anyone wants to know, just drop me a DM on Twitter. I'm expecting to get a square root of fuck all from that. But yeah, DJ was brilliant. I've just got a 1-word note for it, which is fantastic. I think it's safe to say that's what he was yesterday.
Yeah, showed off his season so far for me. He worked really hard. I think he should be given a Medal of Valour for scoring a header.
First thing we said when he scored it, we were like, fucking hell, he's just scored a header.
Yeah.
It wasn't a normal header though, was it? It was like a rebound header.
It was a loop header, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a good finish though, to be fair. But I really liked his second goal and our third. It was my pick of the goal. I mean, if Pearson hadn't scored, it would have been my pick of the goals.
What was not to love about Pearson's goal?
Yeah. The celebration, the
2 yards out, and he smashed it in the back of the net.
I tell you what, the commentary on the highlights was superb.
From where I sit on the town, it looked like DJ scuffed his second goal.
It was a bouncing ball. It was a difficult finish, but I
thought the keeper could have saved it. But yeah,
top strikers would have been proud of that.
Yeah, it's good. Good goal.
I thought it was.
I love a Thierry Henry on the instep kind of finish. I mean, it was his left foot, so obviously other side, but still.
Yeah, good galley assist as well.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Sorry if you can hear any static or anything. We've had a few technical issues, as they say.
My laptop is wank.
Yeah, Ollie's laptop is wank. It's 15-year-old MacBook, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can hear any static, just please try and bear with us. We'll try and talk over it. But yeah, back to DJ. Yeah, he was just brilliant, faultless yesterday. And I think who scored rated him a 10 out of 10? But more importantly, from the Finney rated him a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most complete performance of the season from any player.
Yeah.
Superb.
And he looks like he's enjoying it as well. He's not always looked like that.
No, he hasn't. And I think that for me yesterday was the key one. When, I don't know if it was Pearson or, I think it was Pearson when, was it anyway, one of the goals in the second half that, it was Pearson that he assisted, wasn't it? Oh no, that was Barkey.
Yeah.
He assisted Barkey. Sorry. It was Barkey's goal when he scored. Yeah. I noticed DJ sort of running off and just like
he did his own little
himself, didn't he? Yeah. Which it's nice to see that from a player.
It's similar to Fisher's when he set Barkey up against Brentford.
Yeah.
You love to see it, don't you?
You do. Absolutely do.
But I think, I mean, I don't know how accurate this theory is, and you guys might think I'm peddling nonsense, but DJ seems to have stepped out of Callum Robinson's shadow a little bit this season. And I used to think that because they grew up together, they had a great partnership and they worked really well when they were in the same team and got the best out of each other. But since Robinson's gone, I mean, I'm not saying we're stronger without him, but I certainly think because of the relationship they had, DJ is now sort of flourishing a little bit. I'm not sure the reasons for that, but I can't help but think they're linked.
I don't think there is anything in it, but I can see what you're saying.
I think the fact that he's playing right where he wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, playing at number 10 and not as a number 6 is probably good for him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think I'm not sure. I think if he was playing with Robinson now, then you'd see a lot more.
I think I think if Robbo was here, he'd be. Oh well, I think most people know.
We'd be top if Robbo was here right now.
I'd like to think so. Definitely like to think so. But yeah, I think there's not really much else we can say about.
No, I think he's just playing in his best position and he's enjoying it.
We've spoken about him numerous times on the pod recently, and I just think he was absolutely exceptional yesterday, and long may it continue. The longer he plays like that, the more chance we have of getting anywhere near the Premier League.
Yeah, I think he's got 11. He's got 7 goals, 4 assists. I think in 10
games. 11 goal contributions.
Yeah, which is absolutely stupid.
The nearest player to that in the league is Tom Kearney with 5 goals, 3 assists for Fulham.
And Tom Kearney is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah. And the only player that scored more goals than him is £22 million striker and dreadlock puller, and Alexander Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just couldn't for you, Mitro.
I don't think it's very sustainable. Like, how many penalties he scored?
5.
5 penalties.
4. 4 because he got 2 from open play yesterday, and he got the 1 from open play against Stoke.
Yeah. So he'd probably be aiming for 15 goals.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
And if you get that from anyone who's not a striker, then you've had a very good season.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, he's in the form of his career at championship level.
Yeah, I think yesterday was probably the game of his career, to be honest.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say is when Brown and DJ play, when Brown plays deeper, he's nowhere near as effective. And then you could argue the same for DJ. So
yeah, it's a conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum because obviously Brown's too good to not play most weeks. But he did very well yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I thought he did well.
But that just might be something to look out for in the coming months because I can't see Brown staying on the bench every week until the end of the season.
No, definitely not. And I think the manager probably knows that.
Yeah, so I just hope he continues to get the best out of DJ.
Shall we move on to Jayden Stockley's 34-year-old nemesis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, obviously, from, again, a purely the child in me, I was absolutely buzzing to see that he was starting yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
Talk about throwbacks. and it wasn't even Thursday. Anyway, but I was genuinely gobsmacked from the get-go as to what he offered, and he definitely should have bagged.
Yeah, unexpected to me. To be honest, I was sort of veering towards the side that we've mentioned before, that we'd probably just signed a mascot, but I mean, he linked up almost. I mean, not perfectly, obviously, because he wasn't as effective as other players in the team, but he looked like he was part of that front line.
All I'll say is, for anyone that's read the match preview, I called that lineup perfectly yesterday.
Did you?
I absolutely did.
Oh yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
You should know that, Dan, because you've obviously read the preview, haven't you?
Yeah, of course I did.
The only thing I'd say is like that's the easiest game we're probably playing all season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
But I mean, you can only play what's put in front of you, can't you? And we absolutely hammered the worst team we're going to play. And
yeah,
if we hadn't, there'd be cause for concern. But
no, he did. He linked it up probably better than Malt and Stockley have done all season, I'd say.
Well, to be fair, Malt's only played 2 and a bit games.
Thing is, Nugent might have lost a little bit of his pace, but he's got, I mean, a good 10 years of Premier League experience now. So his movement's going to be invaluable at this level, I think.
It's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? But I seem to remember it was banded around a lot about John Terry when he was sort of in the twilight of his career, that his legs had gone, but he was still a great player because of the way that he read the game and that he moved. And I think at this level, based off yesterday, and I could be jumping the gun quite a lot, but I think you can maybe say the same about Nuge.
Yeah, I mean, centre-backs and strikers, you don't get 2 different players, but I would say so.
But the point still stands, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Terry
probably like scoring to me.
Terry's probably relied less on pace in his career.
Well, yeah, it did. But what did you say, Ollie?
He never looked like scoring to me yesterday.
Well, I mean,
apart from the gilt-edged chance he had,
he never looked like scoring that.
But he should have done.
Yeah, but he never looked like scoring it.
And I think he would have taken that if he was sharper.
I don't know. I think he played.
If he'd started the last 3 or 4 games, that he'd have buried that. I mean, you can say he's 34 and a little bit past it, but he's still a professional footballer.
Mm-hmm. And I think the sooner he scores, the better.
Yeah.
I think it's just a monkey that he probably needs to get off his back.
Yeah. He's a solid penalty taker, actually. I'd probably let him take the next penalty when he's on the pitch. Although while DJ's on a 100% record.
But yeah, no, overall, really, really pleased to see that he contributed so well yesterday. And hopefully it will continue.
I still hope we sign a striker in January.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, other than a goalkeeper, it's still probably my number 2 priority.
Yeah, I think a left back, a keeper, and a striker. Not in that order, but I think they're the 3 that we need.
I think, as well as the other standout performers, could mention Tom Barkhuizen being back to his best technically and physically.
Yeah.
I mean, the one bit that really stood out as an example was Pearson's goal, even though the defending from Barnsley was woeful. But it's the first time in a long, long time that I can remember him absolutely rinsing a defence for pace.
Yeah. It wasn't just Pearson's goal that you could see
that.
That's definitely the main example, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's not.
That first time, do you remember the Brighton game at home?
No, the Reading game.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Reading game that he set up Horgan for.
Reading?
Yeah, he broke from a corner, nutmegged somebody, and then just absolutely flipped.
That's the first time I can remember him doing that in about 2-3 years.
Yeah.
When he's got space in front of him. And the pass to Pearson was actually quite a good pass. It was actually probably harder than it looked.
He was off balance as well. He was just starting to tire.
Off balance, and he was falling as well.
He was. Pearson's pace to keep up was unbelievable as well.
I
didn't realise it was Pearson until he'd scored and was celebrating in front of the crowd like that.
Yeah.
I just saw a player there and I was like, fucking get in, we've scored. And then I was like, oh, it was Pearson.
The scenes on the town end when that went in were class.
Yeah.
Like, can't remember as good scenes on the town end.
It fell down the stairs and that.
Yeah. But yeah, he had a good shot for the first goal, which he got on target. DJ headed it in.
Yeah.
Obviously, he took his goal very well. It's actually a really nice finish.
I think I think I've mentioned it before, but I think he's one of, if not our best one-on-one finisher.
Yeah.
When he gets into the situation.
Yeah.
He certainly had a Maguire after yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think he did much wrong, Maguire with them.
Nah, I'm
quickly.
You are?
He came at him very quickly.
Yeah, no, I'm jesting with that. I think he's
good
unfortunate.
The only thing with Barkey is he always waits till they get to a perfect position to shoot. He never really tries his luck.
Yeah.
Probably should do a bit more. But once he's in them like one-on-ones yesterday, he finished it well.
Like Bolton away 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, Robinson played him in.
Yeah, Robinson played the ball from deep and he tucked it into the far bottom corner.
It's those kind of situations, I mean. He's such a good finisher.
He never looked like missing that one yesterday.
No.
He's playing well. He's always been the key to how we play anyway with Neil.
Yeah.
When Bowden was starting the season, he was on the left, or he wasn't playing. But I think he's firmly got his place back now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's up to Bowden to crawl his way back in.
I think it's because he's that perfect mixture of quick, even when he's not at his fittest, and genuinely really technically gifted.
And he does the dirty work though as well, which you get all these knobheads on Facebook going, "Oh, Tom Barkay's and shit. I wouldn't have him anywhere near my starting 11." And they literally just look at him as a winger with pace and think, well, he doesn't take a man on or he doesn't blast past a player with his pace, therefore he's rubbish.
Yeah. Well, he used to be a fullback back in the day as well, didn't he? So he's not afraid to track back. Yeah, he used to play there for more.
Did not know that.
I think technically he's probably one of our weakest attackers.
Yeah, with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, but most of his work's off the ball, innit? Which goes unnoticed. But technically, I do think he has his limitations, which is probably why.
Yeah, he's not like someone like Billy Bowden, or.
Yeah, probably why Bowden was preferred to him when he was fit.
He's not going to get around a guy with much more than pace, is he? But
even just like his passing's a bit sloppy and technically, but I really rate that.
Yeah, no, I love him. He's one of my favourite players at the club.
I think he'll get into double figures or thereabouts from again. Similar.
Yeah, probably another 7 to 12
his chances of a South Africa call up yesterday.
Yeah, that's a weird one because that cropped up a couple of years ago and then it went away and then it cropped up last week.
Because their manager got sacked, didn't he? The one that was initially interested in him.
Well, he's not in a squad for next week, so I don't know what's happening with that. But I obviously prefer that he didn't travel to Africa every couple of months.
Yeah, it'd be a nightmare that.
Yeah, but
especially if we lost him for most of January.
Also, it's unbelievable that DJ isn't in the Jamaica squad for next week as well.
Considering how bad their squad is.
I don't know what else he has to do. To get in that squad. But
he's only had one call up, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he couldn't go because of the flights. They had like an admin issue and he couldn't go.
God.
So I don't know if that's not been sorted out or what, but
scandal.
He's got a couple of weeks off, which is good for us.
Absolute scandal. Yeah, I think we'll end it there, boys. Yeah, so thanks very much for listening to episode 17 of the From the Finney podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it, despite the sound issues. We are pretty much available on all podcast platforms now, I think, and we're on social media as well. Just search for From the Finney, and you should find us. Check out the website. We're hopefully going to be ramping up our content output on there, especially now that the season's in full flow. And thank you very much to you two boys. Yeah, we'll be back after the international break. Unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 weeks, but I can't imagine that. And we also have the Chris Cedric episode of the From the Finney Meets podcast series releasing later this week as well. So stay tuned for that. It's a good one. Yeah, cheers, boys.
Thank you for having me, Jake.
Cheers.
Brilliant. Good do. Good bloody do.
Brilliant.